Hello, everybody. This is Lady Polite coming to you live from the marvelous state. Let me turn this down, of Maryland. And yes, for those who are not following me on the Life with the Polite page, I actually been going on live on that page on Saturdays morning at this time, and so I decided to come on my page because this is where I started the inspiring, uplifting, inspirational word for the morning. And so I decided to come and do it on here this morning because we are podcasting the marriage, relationship, and love on Fridays at 7 p.m. Every Friday for the month of February, and it's quarterly. So being that we were already on last night, I says, no, I'm not going to do the inspiring word back on that page this morning. I'm going to come to my personal page and just give you a little nugget for this morning, as I am en route and tired, but I am here, still in the land of the living. And so what do I have to share with you all today? Very brief. I read a scripture, and I don't remember it right now at the top of my head, but it was in reference to loving others as Christ has loved you. And as that came to my mind, the other scripture that I have already spoken on several times, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And so I kind of got to thinking about both of those scriptures, and first and foremost is, when you, that scripture, the latter one I just quoted, love your neighbor as you love yourself. We want to realize that the emphasis is on you, okay? And even though it starts with love thy neighbor, but it says as you love yourself. So the emphasis is really first on you. And so if we are not first knowing how to love ourselves, then the first scripture that I mentioned, which is when Christ says love everybody as Christ has loved you, how can you do that if, number one, you didn't first learn how to love yourself? And because loving yourself means also putting Christ first, because then you know how to love yourself. Then you're able to love others as Christ has loved you. And so that's another little right there, because if you don't know Christ, then how are you loving others? Are you just loving others as you love yourself? And so I want you to really think about that today. And that's why I said, there is so much unequally yoked, as the word says, because, I thank God that my hubby and I, we are so equally yoked when it comes to that, because we've learned to love ourselves. And I'm going to say this as well, y'all, because sometimes because of the situations and the choices that we made in our lives, and I'm going to say this more for the females right now. Sometimes because we did not love ourselves first, meaning doing the things that we wanted to accomplish and things that we wanted to do, and we somewhere along the road before fulfilling those things, we had children. And so we chose to love our children more than we love ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's okay when that's happening, because you're putting things, in its right perspective. Because people that don't know how to kind of lay their life down once they have children in their lives, it shouldn't mean that you should have to stop completely. But there were some people's lives where they had to, because they have no other help. And so they are the main priority to that child, and so they have to do, that child becomes a priority. And so you may find yourself, y'all, especially a lot of women, and you have some men who are doing this as well, where they're no longer living for themselves, but they're living for their children. They're making sure that their children have instead of them. But then there comes a season when them children are done raised and done with, then you can get back to loving yourself, accomplish all the things that you want to. And God bless those who who were able to still love themselves, you know, when they had their children, because they had support to be able to do that. And so, you know, we got to look at all these perspectives sometimes to why sometimes people are not where they should be or want to be. And that's nobody's business, and won't fully understand it but you anyway. So unless you feel like sharing your story, you know, that's up to you. It's really nobody else's business. But I'm just sharing these things so that we can just, you know, just kind of put things in perspective, you know. And when people try to judge you because they feel that you're not where you should be, because you know you are this age and you don't have this, and you're not here and you're not there and you're not where they are, you know, it's that's where now where, you know, the word comes into effect, to where he says, you know, love others as I have loved you. Because I'm gonna tell you something, those who put others first before them, baby, it's a whole lot of Christ in their life, because not everybody can put anybody before them. Okay, so we need to just stop and pause some time and just kind of understand the person's story, or want to understand the person's story, before we just look at them and just kind of like, you know, they ain't nothing, they ain't doing nothing. And just mind your business sometimes, you know, or get to know them. Spend some with you know. Sometimes you don't even have to ask questions. Sometimes it's being in the person's presence and spending time with them. You kind of get to understand their priorities and where their love really is at. You know what I'm saying? Where their heart is at. And so, if I had to end with a nugget, I want to say to the older generation, because, you know, this hits home for me. You know, when we find ourselves having to make a decision on loving ourselves now, after we have loved everybody else, and you at an older age, you know, you can do it. You just got to put your best foot forward. And, you know, it's rough, it's tough, but you can do it, and just don't give up. And I think that's what I'm finding, you know, with those who did put others before them, and then when it comes their time to do what they have to do, they're so tired, they're so worn down, they're so beat up, you know, from all the wounds and the hurt, you know, that they don't have the energy, or don't even want to fight to get the energy again to go to God and to, you know, and ask God, you know, what is it that I'm do I have the green light to move forward, to, you know, to capture these dreams that I know you put in me, the purpose and I feel like the purpose and the destiny that you put in me. You know, no one is greater than you. No one is greater than you. We should never put someone higher than ourselves when it comes to caring and attending to the things that we know that we need to survive, to be happy, and to be close to God. And I think that's why a lot of people are angry at God, because a lot of people have made decisions to put other people ahead of them, you know, doing the God-like thing, because, you know, they understand the love that God has given them. But then when it's their time to, they're angry at God, when it's really not you should be angry at God. It should be you putting the work in now. And that's what's hard, and that's what's difficult. So that's my inspiring, uplifting, encouraging word for those today who just don't seem to think that, you know, that they can do it. Because yes, it's hard. You know it's going to be hard. You know, your energy is not where it used to be. Your youth energy. But you know what? Again, I'm reminded, and I'm going to end with this. Every great person that God used in the Bible was not young. They may have received the mantle when they were young, but a lot of the patriarchs, the Noah and the Moses, and a lot of these things happened when people were older. Okay, and so we just want to love ourselves in this time and season when all the nonsense is going on, and the evilness, and the, everybody want to segregate people, I'm using that word because I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody want to, minorities over here, majority over here, the haves over here, the nots over here. That's segregation. You understand what I'm saying? To me, that's segregation. Even to the point, I want y'all to think about this, and I'm gonna end here, but I want y'all to think about this, which is, even when you go into certain places and they don't let you use your bathroom, people are trying to push things back, to make themselves feel better and feel superior over other people. And it's just, love yourself. Love yourself. So that's my word for today. Inspiring word. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.